Now, many have fear from this tool and avoid it altogether, but if you give it time, patience, and most of all practice, it will probably be one of your most used tools. So this video is about Skew. It's not tutorial, but I want to show you some of the key things when using Skew, and also why I changed to this kind of profile in the last few months. So stay tuned. Now, before I continue on with the Skew, I want to point out that I'm nowhere near master of the Skew, and I'm still learning. I'm still quite young at the age of 33, and I always try to evolve, always try to learn new things, experiment, and find what suits the most for me. So hopefully that makes sense. But if you want to see a proper master of the Skew in action, then I highly suggest that you watch Steve Jones' videos on either Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube channel. On YouTube, I think it's called Woodturner21. So I highly suggest that you watch his videos to see how useful can Skew be. Now, for years I've been using the curved profile on the Skew, as you see here, and I still believe if you're just starting out and if you want to learn the Skew, this is probably the most user-friendly profile. So this green line, this kind of profile, so almost straight across here, and then bigger curve going down, because in most cases the top half will get out of the way, and in most cases you won't have a catch unless you present the Skew incorrectly, and then you have a catch no matter what the shape is. But this is, if you're watching lately my videos, then you probably saw this kind of profile. So it's almost straight. So it's at a 15-degree angle, but it's almost straight. It has a little wobble. If I place a straight edge, it has a tiny little wobble. So maybe not even half a mil. So really small curve, hardly noticeable. So now, since I don't have a reliable protractor, what I've done is with the dividers, I have drawn the 30-degree angle here. So if I place the Skew here in the middle, you will see that is almost matching these 30 degrees. So it's a 15 on both sides, so that's included 30 degrees. Now, I find a little simpler way of measuring angles, and that is a length of the bevel here. So I've usually used somewhere around 9 mil of an angle, so that's usually around 35 degrees included angle. I would have to measure to confirm that, but this one is 10.5 mil long of a bevel. So measuring from the edge to the heel here of the bevel, 10.5 mil, and again works great for softwood but also on hardwood. So we are at the lathe, and now you can see how the sharpened Skew looks like. And again, it's far from perfect looking tool. As you saw, I sharpened it by holding in my hand, and instead of using the platform, because the tool is getting slightly too short and I'm bumping into the platform. And but nevertheless, this will work really nicely. So what I'll do quickly is just around this chunk of beech here, and then I'll show you some of the key things that you need to look out when using Skew. 1900 RPM. So that's a nice clean cylinder. Still a little flat area here. So now it's nice and round. So as you saw, that was really nice and quick. And even though there are some, you can see imperfections on the very bevel of the skew, it performed as it should. Now, so one thing that will help you out really a lot, and that is how to position the height of the tool rest when using skew. Now, if you envision this round here at the end grain here as a clock face, then top here would be 12 o'clock, here would be 9 o'clock. So here would be 10 and then 11. So for me at least, I like to turn around 11 o'clock here. So in this area here of the spindle. So when I position the skew here, now you can see I'm slightly over. So I'll drop down the rest. So when I position the skew, so the end of the handle goes up against my body and I hold it here near the ferrule and left hand goes on top of the tool. When I position here and around 45 degrees to the downcoming wood, you can see where I'm cutting at that 9 o'clock position, oh sorry, 11 o'clock position. You can also turn on top here on 12 o'clock position. That's also good, just depending on personal preference. Not sure why I turned on the lathe, but what I want to show you also is it matters how you position the skew. So wood comes down, as Richard likes to say, down to the tool like this. So if you position skew, let's say keeping it flat as a scraper and parallel edge of the scraper parallel with the edge of the wood, then it just scrapes, you can see that. But if we position that tool and ride the bevel here or float the bevel, and we position the cutting edge to around 45 degrees to the wood that comes down to that edge, then we get slice. And the speed in most cases doesn't matter because you'll still get a nice clean cut. So I can bring down the speed. And also I want to point out catches I've shown in 2 of the other videos that I've done on skew, so I won't be showing you catches, well, at least not on purpose, but so this is now running, you can slow it down even more, so 390 RPM. So keeping it flat, you can see just peels. Now there is also cut for that and purpose for that kind of cut, but if we want to really cut and use the benefit of the skew, then we have to position that edge to 45 degrees you can see all the time we are slicing the wood. And look at that finish. Perfect. Hardly needs any sanding. So how to position the skew when you're using it? So you're not going straight across or perpendicular to the spindle with the tool. So what I like to do is, let's say, tilt it, I don't know, maybe 15 degrees. So when I flip it over, you can see this edge is now parallel with the spindle, but I need to flip it like so if I want to go right. So I place, or you can place the entire tool on top, so nothing happens. So if we bring it down and start lifting the handle up, the tool will fall slowly into its place where it wants to cut. And you always want to use, in most cases at least, you want to be using from half of the tool down. So if I'm going to the left, then I'm using from the half of the tool width to the left. If I'm going to the right, then from half to the bottom or to the right here. Now, when you get a little bit more experience, you can use pretty much all the way up to here, the edge, like so. And if you flip it even more over, you can almost see here where the shavings is coming from. So I'm over half of the tool and nothing happens. There is no catch. So that's when you have a little bit more, let's say, experience. And also, if you're getting the cut to a point here, it can still be a nice clean cut like this, but we are butting into end grain, so sometimes it can obstruct your view, but still behind it's nice clean cut. But what I like to do is try to use this kind of edge here, so above the point, and again it's nice and clean. You just have to slow down. Doesn't matter that the spindle is turning slowly. Not everything is in speed, and again this is nice and clean. So again, to position yourself properly with the skew, I like to go above rotation, start to raising the handle. Again, if I turn this tool over, I'm sort of parallel with the edge and the spindle. So if I want to go to the right, I flip it again over, go above the rotation, place the tool on top, and just start to lift the handle, and that will start to drop the edge down. And you can see where I have a point of contact in that corner. So now just rotate it slightly, and you'll find how the bevel sort of naturally falls into this position, and now it's rubbing or floating. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, I like to go above rotation, start to raising that handle, and you also, if you need to adjust, rotate your wrist. And I always do this sort of dance. You can see how fast it gets. So you go above rotation, lifting the handle, finding the bevel, and now you can proceed with the cut. So again, here, I never try to find the cut immediately like so. I always go slightly higher of the bevel so nothing cuts, and now raising the handle, and now you're getting the shavings. Forgot to turn the camera. Luckily I haven't got too far. So you can see the spindle I've done earlier from pine. So all the different kind of cuts with the skew, playing around, goofing around. So a little practice. So let's do something similar here. I already start a little OG here. And let's see, on this side I want to bring this down. I don't think I mentioned this is 1-inch skew. So continue on with this coal. Again, you can use spindle gouge or whatever tool you like to use. Scooping this out, but roughly for now. This will be where the loose ring is. So that's just roughed out for now. Just noticed that the picture was out of focus, so apologies for that. But we might. I lost the loose ring here, so I noticed that the loose ring is missing, so I found the half of it, so I must have with my hand or something removed that. Now I can work on this area where the loose ring will be. For the moment I don't worry about chatter, I'll clean that up. go, so it's loose. So now I can finesse this cove here and a little catch. And here it is. So for practice piece, without sanding and getting a little too thin on a few places, so it does vibrate a little bit. So I could get a slightly cleaner cut if I support the spindle, but again, for the practice piece, it's quite good. So a little OG here, again, a lot of coves, beads, loose ring, again, beads, cove, another cove here quite tight with a loose ring which fell off. And yeah, all in all, nice little practice spindle. So hopefully you're really going to try using Skew, and please don't get discouraged if you have a catch, because these can happen quite often. And I think even Steve Jones has a catch once a year, so I think it's okay. So please don't get discouraged if you have a catches. Just try and persevere, because once you get to know the skew, how it behaves and so on, you'll just use it all the time. So hopefully this little video helped you out in any shape or form, and if it did, then please like and subscribe if you haven't. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.